Nice to meet you.
Hello,
Ryan,
nice to meet
right?
you. Yes, it is. Nice
Okay.
to meet you. Hannah?
Yeah, Hannah.
Nice to meet you.
Take a seat. So, how's your day been?
It's been tiring. I've been just running around doing errands, getting
I'm
things
sorry to
for the
add to that
house.
list.
Yeah, it's just dreadful.
Would you like any water? Or...
No, while I was outside, the lovely lady just passed around the water. It was
Oh,
nice.
receptionist at.
Yeah, and I just relaxed for a bit. It was quite nice.
I hope the wait wasn't too long.
No, it was fine. It was perfectly fine. I was just on my phone, just catching up on the news and
Alright.
emails. Nothing too bad.
Good to have some time to yourself.
Yes. always.
Just before we start this, I just want to ask: have you ever come to a lawyer?
No, this is actually my first time.
Ooh. Okay, so do you have any questions?
Yeah, so what's your actual profession? I know you're a lawyer, but there's several different types, and I want to know what I'm getting myself.
So many types, I know. So I'm a solicitor.
Yes.
yeah.
There's another one, right?
Yeah, barrister. So solicitor is going to be your first point of call, me. So you've come to see me. But if there's anything a little bit more specialized or something I need a little help with, no one can be an expert in the law. Like not even. There's always something new. So I would refer to a barrister, and I would get their opinion for you. So I work directly for you, and they work for you, but kind of through me. So I can be the middleman in that situation. I'm Hannah, as you already know, Hannah Dion. Been practicing for a while now, so I like to say I'm a little confident in my skills.
I'm glad.
You need good skills. But basically, I'm going to talk for a little bit, just explain the interview process, confidentiality, all those little things.
Okay, yeah.
Is that okay?
That's perfectly fine. I need to know more about what I'm getting into.
Alright, I'm just going to be referring to this piece of paper, just
That's
all
all.
good. Okay, so obviously here to hear your concerns. Take it from there. This is just an introduction interview, so there's not going to be any laws we're going to talk about, no sections and numbers.
Thank you.
So the purpose of this interview is just to get information. I'm not going to grill you. I'm not a policeman. Just try not to feel pressure. I understand if you do, but this is a safe space. The door's closed and everything in here is confidential.
Perfect.
So just for confidentiality, it's really strong in between us. So they say it's immortal, which is true. It lasts forever.
Okay.
So
Are there any exceptions to that? I know after the many crime shows I've watched online, there's the lawyer always.
the lawyer
snitches.
always, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're lucky because there probably will be no situation where I'll be like those lawyers on the crime shows. What I say that it's stringent, it's very stringent. It's very, very hard to qualify for something that has to become unconfidential. Sorry, that was a bit of a jumble, but most of the time, the only reason I would disclose confidential information is if you gave me permission to.
Right.
But some of the exceptions, just to give you a kind of taste, got it here. So criminal conduct, if you've engaged in any of that, or just for a broader public interest. But I mean,
I think I'll be fine.
yeah, I hope that we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any more questions?
No, you've been very helpful with everything.
Okay, so I finished speaking now, and it's your turn.
Yeah. Well, as I said, my name's Ryan. Briefly, when I spoke to you earlier, I explained a bit of my situation, and now here I am. Yes. Well, it's mainly about my family situation at the moment. It's how things are within my family, my siblings, and my mother. That being said, I am there right now in our home to take care of her. We have carers at the moment, but what just happened was my mother's just been a little bit different than she was in the past. That said, she's just a bit more scared, a bit more flighty, more on the edge than a typical normal person her age would be. So it's a bit concerning, but
Definitely.
I am there for her. the main reason being why I've come to you personally
Yeah.
is that when things have gotten a little bit more intense, she's actually just being very cautious around the carers, thinking that something's gonna happen to her, something like they're stealing from her. Like she's very aware of her surroundings more than she should be. She doesn't like. She's very forgetful in a way. Very cautious. Very. What's the word?
She's
Very-
just not herself.
Yeah, very
Is that a way to put it?
incapable
Incapable.
of certain things. Like she's handicapped in a way.
So she doesn't have a sound mind. Is that what you're trying to get to?
Yeah, it's definitely different than what I'm used to. I would not personally be able to tell you what it is because the transition was so slowly but out of nowhere. It just happened, and as a worried son I am, I just want what's best for her. And the other family members, like my siblings, we're not that close. We're all a bit everywhere across the country for starters. I recently actually just came back to Sydney, so I'm living in the house, helping alongside with the carers, taking care
Okay,
of her.
so you're living with your mother.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you're her main family carer at the moment.
Yes, I am.
So none of your siblings have been coming to visit, help out.
They've just been like phone calls, nothing too much, nothing more extravagant, I can
Okay.
say.
So you mentioned something over the phone about changing her will. What exactly is it that you think that she would like to change it to?
Yeah, because I did move down here to take care of her, I also did come because of my own financial situation. But I think my family situation overcomes that. I did.
You're not motivated by your financial.
No, I'm more motivated by my mother's situation, which I do want to emphasize because it is her that I am here for.
You're her son, and it's a little worrying, I guess.
But on the same, speaking of my family, we're not actually that close anymore that we used to. We've had a lot of interpersonal altercation.
Sorry to interject again. What would be the reason for that?
It's comes back to that situation where I am living in a house. Mainly, her will in the past. It's actually that the properties and all the possessions get divided equally between all of us. But our current family situation has shifted where it's going towards where none of them are actually actively seeking out to be that close familial bond that should entitle us to certain belongings, whereas I've always been there. That being said, it's one of the other reasons I came down here. Based on our current circumstances, I do believe that I should have a larger portion of her will. I hate to say that, but it's just how it is. Yeah.
Don't worry, this sort of thing is very common. It's hard to know exactly what she wants sometimes. Just as you've inferred to me, she's not exactly capable of making these really
Yes,
big
definitely.
decisions. So we need to think in her interests.
Yeah.
So in this situation, you're not only my client, but she is my client as well because I want what's best for her and I want her money to be going somewhere that would make her happy.
Of course.
So you said that you and your mother have always been close. Has this been since childhood?
I guess you could say that. It's just my other siblings, they've just been quite distant, whereas I don't know, me and my mother have always had a healthy relationships per se. At the same time, based on like how her health is seemingly depreciating over time, she does not want to go towards any doctors because she doesn't believe anything's wrong with her. You know how people can be really stubborn about.
Grandmothers can be stubborn, mothers can be stubborn.
Yes. So it feels very difficult for her, for me to actually take care of her, and at the same time, it would feel very uncomfortable for me to send her off to a home where, like, for example, our possessions would be then used for taking care of her rather than us to be actively contributing to her care, which is something that both her and I agree would be best for her. and then if anything happens, let's say on the will, having it on my side would make sure I'd be able to better care for this entire situation at hand.
Have you been able to see any sort of doctor, GP specialist? I'm not an expert, but that kind of paranoia about stealing, things like that, it's often a sign of dementia. Have you been able to get some sort of diagnosis?
Unfortunately, it's been quite difficult, like I said. My mother's quite flighty, as I mentioned, especially when it comes to the doctors. She's very nervous about going. She's actually kind of refusing to go, so I mean, obviously trying, but at a certain point, there's not much I can do apart from just being there for her.
Okay, so I think it would be good if you would be able to go see a doctor. I know it will be hard, but potentially you could get your siblings, even if you don't have a great relationship at the moment. You do need that support to get her to that doctor, having more, so she knows that all of you are going to be there for her. Would there be any problems with that? Any reluctance on your side, which I get?
Like I said, my siblings and I aren't exactly on the best terms right now. I know medically that this is more of a family thing. On a family level, we are having that difficulty that shouldn't really be contributing, but it is. They believe that I am manipulating my mother and her current situation to best myself, where I'm really trying not to. I'm just trying to do what's best for her. It's because like the house is valued a lot, her belongings are valued a lot, you know. But that's just them being all catty about how my relationship, and I personally believe that they're just jealous, but you never know. So I don't want to further complicate things by bringing them into it. But if they were more than willing to, then I'd definitely.
Okay, thank you for disclosing this all with me. Sorry if I have been a little bit pushy. I know it's a very sensitive situation.
It's okay. I came to you, so I want the best advice as possible. I want to take the best approach.
Okay. I can see what I can do, and I will contact you again through email, through phone. What would be easiest for you?
Anything's fine. I'm available on all networks. But whatever's the best way to reach me.
As I mentioned before, confidentiality. This is a bit of a tricky situation, but I have seen no issue as to why we cannot keep this information confidential. I know that there has been a little bit of fighting in your family, as you've inferred, but that's what families do. And I just want to see you and your mom get the best possible result for you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for visiting.
No problem.
Again, we will contact you. It was so good for you to come, and trust me with this situation, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
In 10 minutes.
I feel like it stopped recording or it didn't record.
Oh god, it's been longer than